Welcome back to Film Revision. Today I am going to explain the movie Finch, released in the year 2021. So at the beginning of the movie, we see a city that was completely ruined. Due to the depletion of ozone layer, people were killed by UV radiation. In such a terrible temperature, there were only a few people who might have been able to survive. Then we see Finch in the city, who was searching for food with his robot Dewey. Finch was wearing a protective suit, due to which there was no effect of UV radiation on him. Now Finch and his robot Dewey go inside a mall, and from there they collect some food for themselves and for their dog. After some time, when they both come out of the mall, they see a big storm coming towards them. Then Finch takes his robot Dewey to an apartment with the help of his truck. Finch cleans his protective suit, where we come to know that Finch is suffering from some disease. After this, Finch meets his dog Goodyear and also gave him some dog food. Now when Finch checks his food, he sees that he has very little food left. Finch knew that the UV radiation is increasing day by day, and if something happens to him, then who will take care of his dog? After this, Finch takes some books and gets them scanned through a machine. In fact, he was making a new robot. Then Finch takes the camera out of Dewey's eye and implants it in the new robot. Finch turns on the robot, then all the data gets transferred. Now that robot also starts to move. Finch tells the robot that you have to take care of my dog. The robot replies that I have been designed in such a way that I can take care of both humans and animals. Finch also introduced that robot to his dog, but Goodyear didn't like that new robot. Finch was teaching that robot more new things, but then the current gets cut there. Then Finch goes down and fixes all the connections. Then he looks outside and sees a huge storm coming towards them. When Finch comes back to that robot, the robot tells that within next 24 hours a big storm will reach here and it will going to stay here for about 40 days. Now Finch gets upset after hearing all this. After this, Finch eats some food and then assembles the hand and feet of that robot. Now Finch teaches the robot to walk. Then that robot was quickly learning everything and started walking properly. Finch is very happy seeing all this. After this, Finch collects all the important things because he had to shift from that place. Then Finch takes out a camera and attaches it to Dewey's eyes because Dewey couldn't able to see anything. Now Finch takes all his important stuff and leaves from that place with his robot and dog. Finch's truck was also UV protected. Since that new robot knew everything, Finch was finding it easier to navigate through the roads. Now after a while, they reach a city. Then the robot asks Finch about the postcard that Finch kept in his truck. Finch tells that this postcard was given to me by my uncle. Now Finch and his robot gets down from the truck. Finch tells the robot that we have to find food for ourselves. After this, both of them go to a theater building. Then the robot lifts the heavy door with his hands and throws it away. Saying this, Finch praises him. Now they get inside and look for something to eat. After getting outside, they see a big storm coming towards them. Then Finch and his robot sits in the truck and start moving forward. But they cannot run away from that storm and they have to face the storm. Then their truck is badly damaged. Now when Finch comes out of his truck, he sees the tire of his truck which was completely torn apart. Finch didn't have a jack so that he could change the tire. Then that robot lifts that truck with his one hand. Now Finch changes the tire of his truck and presses the robot once again. Then Finch names that robot as Jeff. Finch seems to have a solar panel installed on his truck so that the truck gets charged. Now after resting for some time, they proceed towards the Golden Bridge of San Francisco. On the way, Jeff asked Finch that what is trust. Finch does not know a direct answer. Then he tells his own story. Finch tells that before this, he used to work in a company, but not all his friends were smart. Once a software problem occurred, then Finch single-handedly fixed all that problem, because of which his boss praised him a lot. But Finch gave all the credits to their team members, and that's how he won the trust of his friends. Even after listening to all this, Jeb doesn't understand the real meaning of trust because at the end he was only a robot. Now after a while, they reached a restaurant where Finch gets off the truck with his dog and asks Jeb to handle the truck. But Jeb starts the truck and hits the truck over a wall. Finch then exits the restaurant and lashes out at Jeb because Finch had only one way to travel around. Then Jeb feels very bad seeing Finch's anger. After this, they move forward. Then on the way, Finch gives Jeb to drive the truck, and on seeing Jeb starts driving the truck very well. Now on the next day, Jeb sees that Finch's health is not very well. Then Jeb asks that how can I help you? In reply, Finch asks to call a doctor, but it was impossible. Then Jeb takes the wet cloth and puts it on the forehead of Finch, and likewise he takes care of Finch. Now when Finch falls asleep, Jeb gets down with Dewey and they both go inside a mall in search of food, but Dewey accidentally gets trapped inside a trap and she breaks down. Here Finch wakes up and gets very nervous seeing his robot's absence. He wears his protective suit and goes inside the mall where he finds pieces of Dewey. Finch deactivates Dewey and approaches to Jeb. Jeb tells Finch that I come to look for some food, but Finch understands to Jeb that this place is not free of danger, after which both of them sits in their truck and start living from there. But then a car follows their truck. Now it was night. Still that car was following Finch's truck. Then Finch takes the truck near a tunnel. Then Jeb gets down from the truck and pushed it to hide it inside the tunnel. Now Finch was very nervous, and to defend himself, he also takes out his gun. But the car passes over the tunnel and Finch is relieved to hear this sound. When Finch gets down from the truck, he finds broken part of the solar panels on the road. Seeing all this, Finch gets very angry because without the solar panels, the truck will not able to be run. Finch tells Jeb that you are just only a robot and you don't understand anything. Now Finch goes inside the truck. Then suddenly it starts raining, so Jeb runs inside the truck and assures Finch that he will fix the problem soon. Now the next day, Finch's condition was very bad, so Jeb was driving the truck. Then Jeb sees a butterfly in front of the truck which was still alive in the sunlight. Now Jeb calls Finch and tells about the butterfly. Then Finch comes out and shows his hand in the sunlight. Finch sees that the ozone layer has returned again. Finch becomes very happy seeing all this. Then they moved on. Finch gets ready wearing a new suit and cap. Then they get out of the truck and sit in an empty place. Jeb asks Finch that why you have collected so many cars. Finch tells that I always wanted to travel all around the world, but due to this pandemic, I could never get out of my own city. I want to go to the Golden Bridge once before I die. Then Jeb says that we will definitely go there. Finch make promise to Jeb that you have to take care of Goodyear after my death. Now suddenly Finch vomits blood. Then Jeb takes him inside the truck so that Finch can take rest. But before going inside, Finch hugs Jeb and apologizes. When night falls, Goodyear starts crying. After hearing the dog's voice, Jeb knows that Finch is no more. Jeb then burns Finch's body and protective suit on fire. Some time passes, but Goodyear was missing his honor a lot. But now Jeb and Goodyear had become good friends. Jeb feels that he should complete Finch's unfinished goal. So after a long travel, Jeb and his dog finally reach the Golden Bridge. Jeb sees the photos of many people there. Then Jeb sticks a photo of Finch, Goodyear and his own. Then he sees a message there where a survivor had given his address. Now Jeb and his dog sets out to help the person. And this is where the movie ends. If you liked this video, then do subscribe to my channel and check out the other videos before you leave.